Good morning, Las Vegas, and welcome back to the Welcome Home with Monique show. This is your host, Monique Buchanan. And listen, I have got a power-packed lineup for you today. So make sure you stay tuned. I've got some great guests that are coming on. The first guest is going to be a good friend of mine, Mr. Emilio Segbifia. Hope I said that right. And he has a down payment assistance program that he is going to go over with you guys, just answering all the questions that you may have in regards to the down payment assistance program. So you're going to hear it from you're not a horse, Emilio, but the horse's mouth. So Emilio, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you having me on your show.
Absolutely. Now, the second half is going to be exciting as well. We have none other than one of our own KUMV small business owners, Miss Monica Young. How are you, Monica?
Good.
Good. Well, we're excited to have you come on as well. You're going to share some homeowner and renter tips for us as well. So let's go ahead and start with Mr. Segbifia. Did I say it right, Emilio?
It's Mr. Segbifia, but Emilio or Segbifia works.
I like it, Segbifia. I like to get people's names right. Segbifia. Can I ask where is that originally from? I'm curious.
Yeah, so it's originally from the Volta region in Ghana.
Nice.
I'm an Ewe person, so the name has Ewe origins.
I love that. I love to, names are powerful, right? So I love to, say, where are they from? Where's your name from? What does it mean? Not just to throw this in there. My daughter, her middle name is Ainalam. It's Ethiopian, and it means eye of the world. So I'm really big on names. Just a little side note, and I've got off track, Emilio. But my listeners are used to it.
Going off track is good sometimes.
Right. So, Emilio, you have a great product that I have been utilizing with my clients for over 10 years now, blessing families with homes with zero down. And in many cases, even more than zero down, your product actually gives them a little bit more than just their down payment. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So we have two products, one that just provides just a down payment and another that provides the down payment and some closing costs. So, there's some fees that you have to pay when you purchase homes, so we try to help the borrowers cover some of that.
Yes, and that's huge. A lot of people, especially in these times, right, ladies? Oh, I forgot. We've got Becky, my partner in real estate, on with us as well, too. Sorry, I left you out, Becky.
That's all good. I'm still here.
Hi, Becky.
Hey there.
Hi, Becky.
I'm hanging.
So that's really pivotal to have those funds, especially in an economy where we're at today, where it's very hard to save in many cases, right? But yet you're on the sidelines, right? And you're seeing these people buy up all the homes in the city that you want to buy a home and live in. So you're providing an answer for them. So let me ask you, what are the qualifications for your down payment assistance program?
Yes, our qualifications, we try to make it as easy as possible for the buyers to qualify. So the minimum credit score requirement is 600.
Ooh.
We have no income limits.
What?
So I know you're out in Las Vegas and some of you're gambling, so you can put some of that aside, or you can will $1 million and still use our program.
Wow.
And then we have no first-time home buyer requirement. That is huge because most of the other programs out there, they require that. We don't have that overlay.
Okay, but let me jump in and say this is not for investors. I know my KUMV listeners are savvy, honey. They're over there thinking, oh, I'm going to build a 10 house portfolio with this program. So it's not for investors. What that means is that you cannot currently own a home. So me and Becky have to sell your property. After we sell the property, then if, like, for instance, we have a client right now, they bought last year. They're not going to walk away with hardly anything, although, of course, I'm taking care of them on the selling side. They're still not going to walk away with a lot. So they could turn around and use this program for their down payment since they didn't walk away with many proceeds. Is that right?
That is correct. And another thing we can add is we have a lot of buyers that have a low interest rate. Remember when everybody was getting those crazy 1%, 2%, 3% rates?
Yes.
Those buyers can keep their current resident right now, rent it out, and then use Chenoa to purchase their new primary residence. Oh,
that is huge. Did you guys hear that? You guys hear me talk about building your portfolio by one strategy is to buy a home, live in it for a year, and then turn around, rent that home out, and now you are freed up to buy the next property with as little as 3% down. Well, here is Emilio saying, hey, I got something even better. Buy it with zero down with my program. Is that right?
That is correct.
And still have the renters paying off your first property you bought. You're building a portfolio in a roundabout way, right?
Absolutely. And it's all about getting started. Everybody always says, and as a cliche, the best time to plant a tree is 30 years ago. The next best time is today, and it's the same for real estate. As soon as you can get into it, the better.
I love that. Until it becomes unpopular to sleep indoors, it's always a good thing to buy real estate,
Right.
is what I say, right?
Definitely.
So that's a really good
That
one
is
too.
correct.
The best time to buy was yesterday, and the day before that, and the year before that, right?
That is true.
Yeah. So just so people understand, if you're just tuning in, this is Monique Buchanan. This is the Welcome Home Show, where we talk real estate, home ownership, and community building. This is Mr. Emilio, and he is going over a down payment program. Now, do they have to pay this money back when they get the down payment assistance from you?
Yes. So we have two options for them to repay. The first option, which is the most popular, is a forgivable second. And what that means is all you have to do is make 36 consecutive on-time payments to the first mortgage, and it releases your second mortgage. So that means you stay in the home for 3 years, you make your payments on time, and then once 3 years are up, or the 36 on-time payments are up, then that second mortgage is forgiven.
I always like to be
And then there's
forgiven.
another.
That's good.
I agree. It's nice and easy. Most people stay in the home at
least
5 to 7
5
years
years.
anyway. So
Yeah,
Yes.
they're calling me to
So-
list
so-
after 5 to 7 years. Now, let me ask you another one, Emilio, real quick, because I know we don't have a lot of time. Is there any limit? Maybe I want to buy a $800,000 house. Will you help me with my down payment on that? You said there's no income limit with this down payment assistance program. Is there a house limit?
Yes, there is a house limit, and that just follows an FHA guidelines.
Okay.
So when Monique has a great lending partner that she works with,
Yes.
so he'll take you through all those guidelines and let you know what your housing limit is.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so that's perfect. And then you said that it is forgivable. Now, there's a non-forgivable one as well?
Yes, there is. And that one is repaid over 10 years at 1% higher than what your first mortgage note rate is. So if your first is at 6.5, your second mortgage will be at 7.5 over 10 years.
What's the benefit in getting that one? Why wouldn't I just get the forgivable one? Right, guys?
Yes. So the benefit in getting that one, it all comes down to how much it's going to cost you to purchase that home. So the cost on the forgivables is slightly expensive than the repayable.
Okay.
So if you have a little bit more money, then you should be looking at the forgivable option.
That makes sense. So here's the thing, guys. So let me just, round this up in a way that maybe somebody that's not in real estate can kind of understand. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to give you the money for your down payment and a little bit more towards your closing cost. Now, if you do the 10-year one, let's say that you decide that in 5 years you call me up and you do want to sell. Well, they gave you, let's say, $12,000 for your down. What's going to happen is whatever's left over, like they're going to do a proration of whatever you owe. So when you sell that property, we'll just simply pay back. Maybe you only owe $6,000 of that. You stayed long enough, right? Then they'll just prorate it, and through your proceeds, let's say that you're walking with $250,000, you'll pay back the down payment assistance program, the $6,000 or whatever it is that you owe. So it's not like you're locked in. You can't refinance your house. You cannot sell. That's not the case, you guys. When you use down payment assistance programs, if you go ahead and decide to sell or refi prior to their guidelines, you just have to pay them back prorated. Am I telling the truth? Is that how it works?
Yeah, in a roundabout way, yes. Just to make sure that we're clarified and everything is correct, is if you do the forgivable one, there's no interest rate on it. It's a zero. It's basically if you borrow $5,000 and you try to refinance or sell within 2 years, then you'll pay back $5,000. And then for the repayable one, just to make sure we're clear on that too, is if you've been making the payments for 2 years, whatever's left over on the principal balance is what you're going to be paying.
Okay. So just so I just don't want them thinking that they cannot make a move. A lot of times my clients were thinking, oh, I use this program. They told me I couldn't do anything for 5 years. No, you can. It's just going to be prorated. Okay, great. So
Correct.
here's another one. What does the application process look like? Because I will say there's a program out there. I'm not going to name any names. It seems great. It sounds great. But let me tell you something. I've been in this business for 10 years. I've yet to close one because, anyways, I've gotten too deep. They drag you along and along and along and along and along and along and along. You never get a house. By the time you get approved, the homes have went up 100,000. So what does your process look like? And I'm not exaggerating, by the way.
Wow. So our process is pretty easy and simple. We do not add to your loan application process. We work with Monique's lending partner, and he takes care of everything for you upfront. You don't even have to talk to me.
Right.
I'm just here to answer any questions you may have. And you can close. If he says, hey, you're clear to close in 5 days, 10 days, or whatever the case may be, you'll be able to close with us in those days.
And that's why we really we lean towards using your program, Emilio, because being on the lending side, obviously I'm not a lender, but I know a lot about it because of my partner. I do know that he doesn't have to jump through all the hoops that he has to jump through with other programs. So that's always been really good. And it separates you from the other down payment assistance programs that are out there. There's some other ones that are good too, but that's one thing that you guys have cornered is we don't make you jump through a lot of hoops. And yes, we can get you closed in a market that's going to be competitive. As soon as these rates drop, I need to be able to go to the sellers with my buyers and say, hey, seller, we can get this closed in 21 days. Okay. We can close it faster than anybody else, even using this down payment assistance program. Now that puts us ahead of other buyers. So that's pivotal in a different market, right? So I just want to say thank you, Emilio. Is there any myths or misconceptions about down payment assistance that you can think of that maybe you want to clear up?
Yes. So the biggest one is, how hard it is to get to the programs. And that's why we created what we have now, is because we want to make it easy and efficient for you to get into down payment assistance and get into a home. We understand the big tool of what homeownership can do in gaining generational wealth. And the other thing too, the other big misconception is the main common one is, hey, you need 20% to buy a home. I used to think that before getting into down payment assistance, and I'm here to tell you there's many ways you can get into a home with just as little as 3.5% down, or now 0% down.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up because that is, I think, the number one thing I hear. We're listening to people that bought back in the day, and back in the day, that's what they did. They put 20% down, but it's no longer needed. If you have it, great. But if you don't miss the boat. Don't miss the home. So while you're saving up, somebody's buying your perfect home right now. And when you could be using this program, just get the house.
Absolutely. You can plant that tree, your 30-year starts today. You can start that right now.
That's right. Emilio, thank you so much for coming on and enlightening my clients and future clients and listeners about that down payment assistance program. If you're interested, 702-984-3700, 702-984-3700. This is Monique Buchanan, and you can also check me out on YouTube, Monique Buchanan Real Estate. Emilio, thank you. We'll have you come on again to enlighten us some more about your great program. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for putting all these families in homes.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and the pleasure is always mine, Monique. Anytime for you, Mo.
Thanks. All right. Have a good one. Okay. And if you were just jumping on and you missed Emilio, I'm just going to do a quick recap. He has a down payment assistance program that me and my team use. You only need a 600 credit score. There is no income limit. Let me say that again. No income limit. Okay. So you can use this no matter how much money you make. Now, you do have to stay within the FHA guidelines of, purchasing. There is also a very quick underwriting. So in other words, it's not going to hold you up. It's not going to deter the seller from wanting to accept your offer because they're very fast on getting it done. That is pivotal. All right. So once again, if you're interested in that down payment assistance program, 702-984-3700. Me and my team would love to assist you in purchasing not only your first home, maybe your second home. Like he said, if you're already living in a 2% interest rate home, but you want to move up or scale down, we can always rent that property out. That frees you up to buy with his down payment assistance program, or as little as 3% down. So, and we're always here if you would like to sell the property as well, we can assist. So let's jump on into the second part of our show. Miss Monica Moo Young. I'm so excited to have her on today. So just last week, me and Monica were part of the Wealth Multiplication Panel at Mariposa Lounge. Monica, I'm thrilled to have you on here today because, we can continue the conversation about your journey in business. And then we can also talk about this product that you've come up with now that's going to help my homeowners as well as renters, right, Becky?
I was just going to pop in there. Them renters too.
That's right. Okay, so for you that don't know, what was it, 2 years ago, Becky? I had so we're taught not to say flood. Don't ever call your insurance and say flood. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Welcome, Monica. How are you?
Thank you. Good morning.
She knows I'm a mess because she's one of the KUNV listeners.
Yes.
That's actually how we met. She was one of my listeners.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
See, I told you all the listeners are amazing. I love them. Every time I go over there to list a house or if they're my buyers, they're always super awesome people of all walks of life. I feel so blessed. And I'm saying that from the heart, you guys. So we met from the show.
Yes. This is a great program that you have here, Monique. A great platform. You're really helping the community and those that are really interested in home buying. Your passion kind of comes through, and I really admire the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Well, she beat me to my next question. I was going to say, now, Monica, tell us a little bit about your business and what inspired you to give me a call, because you referred me, another KUNV listener, to buy a home.
Yes. I would say that currently here in Las Vegas, I run Boston Cleaners, which is a premium dry cleaning facility here. We have 3 locations, one in Summerlin, one in the Southwest off of Flamingo and Wallapai, the other one, which is our premium location, which is in Southern Highlands.
Right.
And so
Boston Cleaners.
Yes.
That's right. And so just to pivot real quick, and we're going to get to this new product, but when she was on the panel, so the whole point of that was to bless as many people as we can, because a lot of people call me, even as a real estate agent, and ask me business questions. Monique, how do I start an LLC? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I answer them to the best of my abilities, right? But I'm a real estate agent. Now, Monica, I call her Mo because I'm Mo too. But anyways, she was on that panel and she was breaking it down to a crowd of maybe 80 people or more. And they were allowing them to ask questions and get all their questions out. And you were so you just had so much information, and you were just, so willing to share it. And I just want to say thank you, because I watched you up there and said, she has a heart for not only what she's doing, but for other people, right? So I feel like, you will be blessed by that. And I know that your business, Boston Cleaners, are already blessed. You guys are growing, and now we've got a new product.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about renewal.
Okay, so we have a division we've started called Renewal of Southern Nevada. And basically it's a product where we're going to be a textile pretty much expert. We've already been in dry cleaning for many years, and so people will bring us items that they'd like to restore.
Right.
And so often when someone has an unfortunate situation of a fire or water damage, is what we like to call it, to their home, we have the wherewithal to be able to assist them through that process.
Right. And so when you say textile, for someone out there that may not know what that means, what does that cover?
It would be all your garments, any sort of fabric, couch covers or fabric related items, or even curtains or drapes.
Your rugs.
Yeah, I had a client that told me his wife spent $300,000 on their drapes.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, he's got a multi-million-dollar house, but still $300,000. So when I had my water damage, and I was unaware that was something that was covered under my insurance. I had no idea.
That's right, Monique. So you want to make sure that as your listeners are considering home ownership and looking at their insurance policies, that they have the proper coverage for their belongings.
Right.
Because some things are just irreplaceable.
Yeah.
We know
The
that
wedding
we're in
gown.
a very fashion forward sort of industry, or what we like to call fast fashion. So often some of those things are just irreplaceable. You can't replace it. So
it's good to know that these things are typically covered just even with a standard policy, correct? Now, renters, you guys have to protect your stuff, because you brought up a great point when we were off air. You said a lot of times, I think renters are assuming that the homeowner's insurance will cover their items, when in fact, Becky, you said,
No, ma'am.
Not at all.
No. I've had a couple of people in my neighborhood who had some instances that way that were renting, and we found out afterwards that they thought their stuff was going to be covered, and it absolutely was not.
And you guys, what is it, $10, $15 to go to like Lemonade and get your own renter's insurance?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would just say that the nominal fee that it costs for coverage is pretty small in comparison. No one expects for an emergency like that to happen.
No, you don't.
I mean, it's pretty devastating, right?
Sure
we have
is.
some local nonprofits that really sort of are there to really handhold people when they go through that situation, but it's almost like a car accident to some extent. It's pretty traumatic.
Especially if it's a fire. So for me, I started off, you guys know I'm all over the place, but I started off talking about my water damage experience just a couple years ago. I had to live with my 2 small children at the Stratosphere for
in
the
the
whole
hotel.
summer.
Yes.
Oh, that was fun. No kitchen, but I had some garments that were, in the water, and I didn't know that was something that I could do. The ones
Most
that
people think you're done.
Yeah,
Something like
I
that
thought it
happens,
was-
I have to just start over.
Yeah, so with our process, what we do is we can assist the homeowner right away with what we call a rush service. So we show up, you tell us if your kids have uniforms or whatever, we will go in and grab all of those items and treat them properly and try to ensure that we can save them. And so it can get you through your first 48 hours if you're at the hotel, or if you're in a situation where you might be out of your home for at least 120 days or 6 months, or in many cases, we're seeing these claims be 9 months, depending on the extent of the damage. So if you're out of your home for that long and wouldn't be needing your garments, we have facilities where we can clean and assess those items once we have approval and get their work authorization, and then we can store them for you. So if you say, you know what, Monica, it's not Christmas yet, but I use this table skirt every year.
Yeah.
Even though we're not in our regular home yet, we're in a rental
It's a family
property.
tradition.
That's right.
Yeah.
It gives you that little sense of home until
absolutely.
you can
Yeah.
get back to your normal space. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Monica M. Young, and she has Renewal of Southern Nevada. If you are currently going through a situation and you weren't maybe aware that you could use her services, you definitely can. So her number is 702-466-7633. If you have questions, maybe she's more than happy to answer your questions, right, Mo?
Definitely.
So again, if you're interested or you need her assistance with Renewal of Southern Nevada, 702-466-7633. So yeah, that would have been helpful for me to have known a couple years ago when I was going through my water damage experience.
Well, I was just going to say, how many people, it's part of our home buying experience.
Right.
And a lot of renters do think in advance to get their rental insurance. You walk around with insurance, but you never use it. You don't, even when you're in that situation, you don't necessarily even think, can I use, you have it, that's what it's for.
It's almost like I don't want to say it. Well, I'm just going to say it. I feel like they purposely don't, because why didn't they tell me that? Why didn't they tell me all the things that were available to me?
Well, a lot of times, to be honest, it's a very, the adjusters are super busy.
Oh, that's
They're
true. That's
doing
true. Okay.
lots and lots
Yeah.
of claims. So everyone is stretched,
Yeah,
right?
that's
We're in
true.
an environment where we're asked to do more with less. And so I don't think it's really intentional.
Yeah.
I think it's from a standpoint of just knowing what's available.
Right.
And so we're new, kind of like in this industry and doing that, but we're approved to work with all the insurance providers as well as a lot of the general contractors and those that actually do restoration. So we're not coming in there, ripping out walls or, actually doing
Right.
that part of repair.
You're saving the garments.
We're just saving the garments.
Whether that's the couch cover,
That's right.
whether that's the wedding dress.
That's
the
right.
area rugs, the curtains, yeah.
Oh, the rugs even.
the area rugs.
That's huge because those rugs are expensive.
Yeah. And in some cases, they're heirlooms.
Yeah.
That's what we find.
Yeah.
These things are just irreplaceable
down.
and just,
What a blessing that is that you're able to come in and save those things that maybe they thought couldn't be saved. And this is at no cost to them because the insurance is picking it up.
correct.
Well, that is something. I tell you what, we had a good show today. I'll tell you what, we had great information from Eminio. Now we're learning something new
I
about.
love learning new things.
Yes, about what your homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance can cover for you, and save something that maybe meant a lot to you. Maybe you want to pass that wedding dress down to your daughter. You know what I mean? And now,
Right.
through your insurance, you can use Renewal of Southern Nevada, and they'll come in and save that. I don't even know any other company that does that. So Renewal of Southern Nevada is the name, and she is family, you guys. She is a KUMB listener. We like to keep it in the family, ain't that
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
Becky? So she was, like I said, she supported me in my small business. And that's something I want to start doing, is having some of my small business owners out there that listen to me on a regular, right? Supported me for the last 4 years. Hey, let's play it forward. Let's support each other. You know what I mean? So I love that spirit about you, Mo. And that's why I want to have you come on, because I know you're a great person. You care. And I know you're a very savvy businesswoman. So
Oh, thank you so much. You too.
So 4 locations, the Boston Cleaners. Now is it three locations, Boston Cleaners. That was Southern Highlands, Mountains Edge, and the North?
Well, actually, it's Summerlin, just across the street from the Red Rock Casino.
Okay.
Right near the Costco
Convenient.
location, and then off of Flamingo and Wallapai, right next door to the Albertsons there.
Oh, Oh, okay. I was just there yesterday. That's very okay. So then there's a third one in Southern Highlands.
Correct.
Okay. So 2 west and 1 in the south. All right. So you guys, if you're looking to get your garments cleaned professionally, KUMB owner.
Sure. That would be www.bostoncleanerslasvegas.com. Mother's Day
Yes.
is coming up. I did not know it, but they say about 70% of women, whether they're working or not, take care of the laundry.
Oh, I hate
for the
laundry.
home. So that could be a nice treat for you.
Oh.
Give yourself what we
Anybody
call a
wants to
mental
give-
wellness break.
Hint, hint.
I know, hint, hint. You know, some people can't stand dishes. It's like laundry to me is like the never-ending mountain. As soon as I
Wash to
get
the
it all done,
basket.
it's right
Never
back.
gets put away.
Oh my, yeah, it sits as a mountain. I should, you know, it's TMI with me. I just tell you guys all my business, don't I? But yes, I have a little mountain of clean clothes that just never seems to go away.
Well, that's okay. Just wanted to let you know that for that, we can wash and fold for you with no fragrances or anything like that. So if your family has any allergies, and then we can do that as a weekly service. So you can go and sign up on our website.
Oh, I need to go sign up on that website. Well, we appreciate you, Mo, and thank you so much for supporting my small business.
Yes.
And I want to continue to support your small business. You're doing great things in the community. Until we go on another panel. Becky, are you going to chime in today? You've been mighty quiet.
I have been a little quiet today. I've been a little off, but that's okay. I'm getting my groove back.
Nah, girl, you got your groove. So thanks again, Momo. We will have you on again and to talk about renewal of Southern Nevada. If you're interested again, 702-466-7633. My information is welcomehomewithmonique.com is my website. My email is welcomehomeshow91.5@gmail. So if you missed any of this, you can always just reach out that way or 702-984-3700. Okay, before I cut you guys loose, we have yet another KUNB listener that has listed their property. It is in Spanish Trails. All right, fresh on the market, you guys. 7217 Mission Hills Drive is the address. 7217 Mission Hills. You can take a look at that property on my website, welcomehomewithmonique.com, and check it out. But it is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage of almost 1,800 square feet. But here's the thing, you guys. It is in Spanish Trails, which is a multi-million-dollar community, guard-gated with amenities, which I can't get into now, but you'll see it on the website. But anyways, it's a golf course community, you guys, with exclusive amenities, Spanish Trails, and it is very rare that anything ever comes up for sale in that community. So this one's going to be gone quickly, especially because we have it listed at, wait for it, $499,999, so under $500,000. Yes, and it's my KUMB listeners out there. They, I sold them the property a couple years ago, and they turned around and made it an investment property. They will be on the next show, you guys, talking about what they did with that investment property and also all the amenities that come behind that guard gate of Spanish Trails. So again, that address is 7217 Mission Hills. And if you are thinking of listing your property and would like it to be shot out right here on our platform, my number is 702-984-3700. Becky, you didn't say much, but I love you.
I love you too.
Momo, I am so happy to have you on. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
All right, until we hear from you.